Sunrise Interviews is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
Welcome back. It's 6:18. As the pandemic continues, it's important to remember that not only have our lives been turned upside down, but the lives of our kids and our teenagers have drastically changed. And it's really important to remember to check in with their mental health. A recent study of teens showed that 7 out of 10 were struggling with their mental health in some way, be it anxiety or depression or something else. And the majority were feeling more lonely. And that can have some really dangerous consequences in teenagers and children. So joining us this morning, Jessica Burzloff, a local licensed marriage and family therapist. We're calling this Parenting During the Pandemic. Things really have changed. Jessica, what are some signs and symptoms we need to watch out for in our kids and teens?
Yeah, so the number one sign really is withdrawal and isolation, and any other mood changes that you notice in your child, including changes to their sleep habits, changes in their appetite. Of course, any uptick in things like drug or alcohol abuse certainly is cause for concern, as well as just being agitated, restless, extreme sensitivity to criticism. All of these things are red flags that there might be more than just your typical teen angst going on.
Okay, so what do you do if you think something is wrong with your child?
So the first thing that you're going to want to do is talk to their pediatrician, and they can give you some guidance, maybe a referral for some therapy. They can maybe assess for how bad it might be. So that's definitely your first step. But as a parent, you do have a lot of power here, even though it might feel like you don't. Just asking your kid, the number one most important question you can ask your child is, how can I help you? That really opens the door for them to share what's going on. It's non-judgmental, but just, remembering that sometimes anxiety and depression can kind of come off as irritability or anger. And so it's really important for parents not to take that personally, that it's not about you as the parent, it's about your child that's struggling, and trying to approach them from an objective, kind of caring, loving place. Doing something more, maybe doing some more one-on-one stuff with the kid that they like to do, and also modeling healthy self-care. And that's hard to do right now, and we've talked a lot about that on this show, but modeling how to take care of yourself when you're struggling is really powerful for kids to witness.
I think a lot of parents maybe are hesitant to think that, maybe it's not that bad, maybe it'll just go away, they'll get over it. Can you just really tell us how important it is that we address this in kids and teens?
Yes, absolutely. And if you're really concerned, or if you're noticing an uptick in your kids talking about death or suicide or anything like that, please don't hesitate to ask them directly if they're thinking of hurting or killing themselves, because that can mean the difference between getting them help or something much worse happening. So definitely don't be afraid to approach these topics with your children.
Okay. And do you think that there are changes in behavior that can point to something other than like depression, something inward and something outward that's happening to your child, such as abuse or something online like we've talked about in the past?
Right. So if you're noticing anything above and beyond the depression, like they're talking about a specific child that's bullying them, or they seem really concerned about a specific adult or a specific relationship that might be causing harm, if you notice any kind of your child being hyper vigilant or easily spooked or avoiding certain situations, then it's definitely worth asking more questions to see if there's something else going on in addition to the pandemic causing some depression. There might be something else happening.
Yeah. Always a good idea to err on the side of asking too much and being too involved in your kids' lives, I think. Jessica,
Yes.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. A really important topic that we continue to talk about. We'll be right back after this.